here, and this lesson is going to be for 5th graders. So 5th graders, I know we've been kind of all over the place. I want to come back, and each week I'm going to have a video to help you review note names, because we need to know those. I'm going to work on a neck belt in recorder karate, so that by the time we come back, it could all be black belts if you try. And I'm going to connect to something about music, with music history, or about a style of music that I think is really cool. So today I am putting a link in the description below to a little website to help you practice knowing the names of the notes on the treble clef staff. So remember, we've got Every Good Boy Does Fine, as well as face, F-A-C-E. Our spaces spell face. This is my hand staff. I'm going to use it so I remember if I'm trying to figure out what is on the 4th line up. Sorry, my dog's distracting me. Every good boy does. I know that's D. On this website, you can click. It will let you retry if you make a mistake, but the point is that you're practicing and you're getting really fluent, getting quick with remembering the note names. So Primo decided he's going to sit on my lap right now, so you might see his little nose poking out. I'm getting my recorder out. We're going to practice the green belt. It's raining. For report cards in January, you did a really good job. A lot of you got up to orange belt, so I know that we know our songs with Do, Re, and Mi. So we had our first one was Hot Cross Buns, that was white belt. Yellow belt was Gently Sleep, and orange belt was Merrily We Roll Along. Now we're going to talk about green belt, which is when we have to start using our right hand. Remember, you should be holding your recorder in your left hand. Right hand, we're going to use these two fingers. They're going to work together as a team. That's to get us from G down to E. So that's my first note. Well, it's not my first note. That's my new note. You only need 3 notes for It's Raining. We have A, G, and E. This song gets a little tricky because you have to do some fast switching between E, A, and G. So practice that a few times. You can pause it and practice it. You can practice with me. So the whole song goes like this. So the song, if you don't know how it goes, it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring. Went to bed and he bumped his head and he couldn't get up in the morning. Yeah, it's a little bit sad, huh? It's kind of like, I think it's about a concussion. That's not good. Don't do that. So, if you ever get a head injury, try and stay awake. Piece of advice. Miss Thompson has lots of advice. So, the notes are G, G, E, A, G, E, E, G, E, A, G, E, G, G, E, G, A, E, G. That's G. G, G, E, E, A, G, G, E, E, A, G, 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 E, E, A, G, E. And then in the link below, I have included a page for the sheet music so you can read it if that's going to help you. Otherwise, I would like you to practice. We practice slow first, especially with that E, A, G. The first line's pretty easy. Then people tend to get a little freaked out when they see a second line because it has 8 notes in it. Do, 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 do. Remember, make sure your fingers don't go too far away so that you can move them quickly. And if you're squeaking, that means that something's probably leaking. So check and make sure your fingers are covering the holes all the way. Shake it out every once in a while, you don't need to. And check and see if you have the little donuts on your fingers. Like that one. Hey, so that's going to be your green belt song. Go ahead and practice that. Like I said, in the link below, in the description below, I've put a link to the music so you can read it. that will connect to what we did in the first part of the video where I told you about the link I had to musictheory.net's quiz on nomes for lines and spaces. Alright, so before we left for this weird little virus break, we've been talking a lot about jazz, and we talked a little bit about the blues, and we were playing the 12-bar blues progression using our boom markers, where we had the chords. We have C, E, and G play as our one chord, do, 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 do. And then we had F, A, and C, our fa chord, and we go back to do, 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 do. Sa, fa, do, 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 do. So, blues we know was one of the precursors to jazz. We know it was one of the defining music styles that really came out of African American culture and really helped grow jazz. And I wanted to show how it kind of kept moving past jazz. So, blues was actually the predecessor to country music, and it played a role all the way through, not only in jazz, in country, in rock and roll, and into R&B, which is rhythm and blues, R&B music. So in the link below, I actually linked to a few songs that are really blues influenced. So one of them is one that I heard a lot as a kid because it was my dad's favorite artist, is Eric Clapton, and he really used the blues style, but he brought it forward, and he was actually really popular like Jimi Hendrix, who was a famous rocker. Then we've got a connection to rhythm and blues that's a little more modern, that I think you'll really enjoy. So, in the description below, I've got 4 things. I've got musictheory.net, where I want you to try and practice those lines and spaces for the treble clef. Let me know how you do, either on email, amathomp@fwps.org, or you can send me a message on Class Dojo if you have that, or your parents can too. I would love to hear from you. And the other links in the description below are all blues related. I want you to listen and kind of hear, see if you recognize the connection. There's going to be kind of an evolution where we have this old style and then people kind of change it and play with it. Just like language evolves, like everything else changes and grows, so do the blues, so does music all the time. Anyway, that's all from me for today. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I hope you're all warm. It's a really cool day today. At least it was when I woke up this morning. And I hope that everyone's doing well. Let me know if there's anything you need from me, or if you just want to say hi, I'm here for that too. I'll be available during school hours when we normally will be at school. Plus, I'm checking my email in Class Dojo in the evenings as well. Just don't expect me to get back to you at midnight because I will be asleep. And you should be too. Okay. Do your reading. Listen to some music. Try and get active. Try and move around. Don't just sit on your bottoms all day because that's not good for you. I'm going to be taking my dog for a walk in a little bit and he's really excited. All right. Bye, everyone.